How's it going today, guys? Back again with another video. Today, how to take apart the PS4 controller. Basically, to start, I have this electronic tool set. There's a few things you need. The little screwdriver, of course. I like using these tweezers, helps with the little screws and everything. A little separator. This isn't totally necessary. This little guy's good too. For bits, you just need like a 000, extremely small bit, and a flathead. I didn't use it, but you could probably use it separating, getting rid of those clips inside the controller. Alright, let's get started. You flip the control over, and immediately you'll see pretty much 4 screws, and I'll point out these locations. Basically, you just start unscrewing them. Pretty easy, pretty basic. After this first one, pretty much cut it. And they'll all be out. So now you have the controller without those 4 screws in. You'll notice it's not completely apart yet. What you're going to have to do is pretty much separate it. I'll point out these locations in a little bit, but there are clips inside of this controller that really kind of holds it together. Just kind of work your way around, separating it. There might be some dirt and stuff from, years of playing. But here are the first 2 clip locations. Right in the front, there's one right there and one right there. It's going to come apart pretty easy for me because I've already taken this apart, but I'll give you a little close-up. See those 2 clips on either side of the port. You just kind of got to push on them. You're probably going to have to rough it a little bit to get it out. And just keep working your way around. There's one more clip right there in the top, right near the trigger. And there's one right there as well. So once you get those unclipped, you got to be very careful here. There's actually a ribbon cable holding everything together. You kind of just lift the case over the triggers. This might take a little bit of finagling, but press on the triggers a little bit, separate it, and you'll eventually get it. Now, notice this ribbon cable. You need to be very careful. They're very fragile. So you can take your tweezers, or honestly, you can just take your fingers and pull it out. It's very easy to do. You see me struggling with tweezers, so it might just be easier using your fingers. That's finally out. You put that aside. So now we got inside the shell. Now what you want to do is you want to take the battery out pretty much. It's just a little connector to the left. You just lift up on it and it comes right out. You can put that aside now. So, as you can see, it's pretty held down. There's this one little tiny piece that is definitely going to fall out if you don't get it now. That actually goes to the reset button. You see this little screw? That's the only screw that's holding the motherboard to the actual shell. So you want to unscrew that right now. And now you can see the motherboard starts to, wiggle around a little bit, but be careful here. There's another ribbon cable. You can see right there. There's not a lot of play, so you want to take this out pretty much right away. You see me fiddling with it, but take your tweezers, pull it out, or use your finger like I said, because I definitely struggled. I just cut it to make it look like I didn't struggle. And you can finally separate the motherboard from the outer shell. So now you have 3 pieces. Here, if you're just changing your thumbsticks, this is where you're gonna take them out, swap them, put everything back together. There's no need to go further if you're just doing the thumbsticks. And they're very easy to take out. You just basically pull up on them. You can see mine are very, very bad condition. And that's why I'm assuming the majority of you are here. Just pop right on and off. At this time, this is where you just put your new thumbsticks on, button it all back up, and go back to playing. Let's go even further into the teardown. Let's take off these buttons. You're going to see a little spring pop out. Be careful, because I think I lost the other one. They're very small, just so the trigger can be returned after you press it. So the trigger, I'm sorry for this focus, just lifts right on up. Eventually I'll get it. And there we go. So back to the beginning piece. I'm just going to take out all these buttons. If you want to put in your custom buttons or whatever, here's the time. Just take off these little rubber feet. That's what actuates onto the motherboard. Very simple, very straightforward. Just take out all the buttons. This just lifts right on up, kind of right around it. Very simple. And now, if you're swapping the outer casing, this is where you do so. Back to the motherboard piece. If you need to swap out the motherboard for any particular reason, here's what to do. Basically, there's going to be a clip on either side. Just lift those off, and it just pops right off. Honestly, it might be easier just buying a new controller if you actually need to swap the motherboard, but you never know. So now we're going to take out these rumble motors. I'm not actually going to fully take them out because it looks like to take them out fully, you're going to have to actually desolder them from the motherboard. But as you can tell, there's a lot of adhesion, so this actually took me quite a bit of time to really kind of force it out. If you've seen my PS3 controller, you can actually put in some cool rumble activated LEDs, but that's from years ago. So I'm just putting it back in because there's no need for me to actually desolder it from the motherboard. Now I'm just going to lay everything out really nice to show you all the different components. This is a very easy process, and honestly, if you follow everything, it's going to be pretty simple. But thank you for watching my first video in the past, I think, 7 years. I'm probably going to be doing some more videos like this now that I have more time. I have a new camera, I have a new microphone set up, I have all the software. But thanks. If you like this, like and subscribe.